Hey guys, what's up? So, this is a heavy metal magazine from May of 1979. So I just found this. I didn't know I had it, and it was from 1979. I don't remember when I bought it. I don't remember buying it. Of course, I didn't. I must have bought it at like a back issue, like, sometime later. And this is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Check it out. Look at the back of this thing. That's really awesome. I've never seen an actual illustration like that on the back of Heavy Metal magazine. What's weird is that should be the front. Look at the front. That's cool, right? But look at that. Wouldn't that say like Heavy Metal on there? That'd be so much cooler. I don't know why they put a better illustration on the back than on the front. I mean, this is cool, but it's like a simple kind of alien girl with a thingamajig. And it's not a lot. I mean, this is like this is like a very like involved illustration. So hey, whatever. But check out the insides. It's got Mobius in it. Not a lot of Mobiuses, but some Mobius. And I don't know, this is like when Mobius was popular or whatever. Mobius was doing a lot of French stuff. He was in Metal Hurlant, which is like the French heavy metal before the American heavy metal came around. And this is just a complete 1979 flashback thing, okay, of this magazine, because everything in here is from 1979, and it's like going back to 1979. They even have like another magazine in here called National Lampoon that was like a comedy magazine, and this is the National Lampoon magazine t-shirt that they have on the first page, which is pretty cool. There's another one here. I've never heard of this one. It is called More Than Human, the graphic story version. Ah, fuck. Whoops. I don't want to destroy this. This is like valuable. Even though, look, it's $1.50. Unbelievable how much these things cost. I don't want to rip it though. I want to keep this thing in good condition. So right away, it's got really cool heavy metal art. What's cool about heavy metal is the art is like, this was not art in 1979. Like, this was heavy metal art in 79. This was just like, I really do think like heavy metal that came out after Heavy Metal magazine or during the time of Heavy Metal magazine, the art of like on heavy metal music albums basically was sort of the same art as in Heavy Metal magazine. So I don't know. So check this out. This is another page right here before it even starts, and it's got what if, right? And this is a page, and it says here, it's a science fiction book club. Take any 4 books for 10 cents with membership. And I remember these things, they used to have these, and these things were just like, they would give you seriously like 10 books for a penny, and then you would have to buy 4 more books over the next 5 years or something like that. It was something ridiculous, but it was totally worth it if you were consuming books, because they really did give you a good deal. I don't know if it was like, I never like took advantage of it. I never, but I never used to read a lot of books back then. It was just like, I started reading like later. But check some of this art. This is kind of, just starts out with that. This is kind of weird art right there. And this is called Born Again. And isn't that cool? That weird. It's just black and white, inked and stuff, but this is a pretty good piece. I mean, that's not bad art. Like, it's like meaningful, it's like contemporary art. This should be in like a gallery or a museum or something. So the first song is first story is like New Tales of the Arabian Nights. And this is like a weird take on Arabian Nights. This is like an Arabian Night guy with like a saber or something like that, what that's called, or a cutlass or whatever, against zombies, like green freaking zombies. What's interesting about like heavy metal this thing doesn't flip right. Okay, when heavy metal, like before, when it first came out, all of the stories were like continuations. So you would only read like part of a story, and then you would have to read the continuations. So this is pretty cool. It's got like green people, blue people, interesting art. There's a lot more in here though. There's like Mobius, there's like a bunch of stuff. Here It's just not a lot of content with like this comic though. But there's like this other thing here, and what's interesting is like these little ads. Like these are 6 from heavy metal books, including Arzak by Mobius. Here, Arzak by Mobius right there, and a bunch of other stuff that was like big heavy metal books at the time, and they gave you 6, and I don't know what they charged. It wasn't like a lot. It was just like, yeah, 60 cents per title. I mean, these books were like so cheap at the time. There's Ulysses, there's Is Man Good by Mobius, Ulysses by Homer Lob and Pihard or something. Okay, I don't really know a lot about these, but okay. This is cool. This is called Alien, and this is like, this is pretty cool. It's really interesting, and it's got like all the people and everything. It's got like, you know, a story. It's pretty cool. It's got a spaceship in there. That's pretty cool spaceship. That's really original. Like, you know, and let me see here. There's a bunch of cool stuff. You know, it's just like an alien story. But was it, you know, these stories are just, they're not long. And that's like one of the things I was always like, oh, you have to buy them every month. Here we go. This is the Airtight Garage of Jerry Cornelius. This is the Mobius one. So you can see the Mobius art, the Airtight Garage. And Jean-Gerard Mobius was a great, great artist, French, did a lot of comic books, did stuff with, collaborated with a lot of people. Alejandro Jodorowsky collaborated with him. But the thing is about like this, I mean, they show you there's more of it, but this 2 pages is the only 2 pages. And it was like, you flip to the next page and it's like not Mobius anymore. They have another area. They kind of separated it. Like there's another Mobius in here, but it's in the back, and it's like, but it's got a really cool illustration. Here's an interesting weird, this is called Star Crown, and instead of like a comic book, it's like a story, but then it's illustrated. So it's not like a total story. It's like a story, and then there's like a picture. That's pretty cool. It's like a spaceship. It's pretty cool. Different colors and stuff, which is cool. It's a nice take on, it looks like a filter or like an effect. You can see like more story, and then there's like a picture, right? It should be more illustrated because it's an illustrated magazine, but there's more of that. The colors are like all yellow and stuff. And wow, and this is to be continued because all these things are to be continued. Right? The next one is cool. This is the collector's items, right? And this is the form you have to fill out to get it. And this is every heavy metal magazine since the first one, from number 1 till number freaking 25. And this is like, and these are all back issues, and they are really cheap, $3 each. Right now they're not $3 each, and probably some of these are rare and probably hard to get. But that's pretty cool. And then there's like, let us transport you, heavy metal. More like, I mean, at the time, this was like high fantasy. You know, you could not get this. They started this in France with Metal Hurlant, which was kind of like heavy metal. I guess it meant heavy metal or something like that. But another weird comic. You know, but then in America, they just like, it just took off. They realized they had a good thing going. And it was just like, they had an original thing. Like now this kind of art is still kind of original. You don't really get this kind of fantasy. And it just feels like every fantasy like artist that was good was put in heavy metal. Like they would just, I don't know if the artists would like call out to them, or they would like, you know, contact the artist. I don't think like, I'm not sure like Boris Vallejo or Michael Whalen was ever in heavy metal, and that's just weird because they're so good. And this is right up their alley, you know? This is the same kind of art they do. Here's one that's really colorful. This is like a black and white and ink thing, and this is just a really colorful one. It's pretty cool. I like the colors. I mean, at the time, it was the printers. This was like a lot of standard color for comic books. You know, all the comic books were like this kind of color, and it was just like combinations of yellow, pink, blue, purple, black, and stuff like that. I don't know why certain artists, certain fantasy artists were in heavy metal, like Louis Royo, a bunch of guys, and certain artists just weren't. And what's weird is there were a lot of like heavy metal, like fantasy artists at the time. Jim Burns, I don't know why Jim Burns was never in heavy metal. He makes this kind of art. He did a lot of covers for novels at the time, 70s, 80s, and stuff like that, when this magazine was really big, you know? What's amazing is like, there's so many people drawing this right now. There's like a whole like genre of people that are inspired by this kind of art and are drawing like this kind of art. Like, I just flipped that over, so let me like show you that, because that was pretty, this might have been pretty cool. Like, yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, this is something that, it's unusual, and it's from 1979. Okay, wait a minute, what do we got here? Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like this ship. Thing's red. And let me see what else we got. Spies on Pluto, right? And it's weird, it goes from like a full color thing to like a black and white and inked thing, where they just use a bunch of inks. And oh man, I think I saw this story like somewhere else once in a different heavy metal magazine. I recognized the people marching. I recognize some of the marching they're doing. And God, look at this stuff. Here's like people with top hats. It'd be interesting to like read. I might have read this already. I don't remember if I read this or not. If I did, it was years ago. You know, here's some cool stuff. This is a little thing from National Lampoon magazine. And it's like in how to order National Lampoon magazine. And basically, you would give them a check or money order, mail it, or you would write your credit card number and mail it, and they would send you, you know, magazines. This is the rest of the Airtight Garage of Jerry Cornelius by Mobius. Okay, I'll like put that up a little bit closer. God, a lot of writing. What's weird about this Mobius is like Mobius is usually colorful and weird and more content. I don't know why that's all he did, but check out this one. This piece is good. That is so weird. And that is classic Mobius. He did a whole story about, he did a whole comic book, a whole graphic novel about these characters, or this character specifically was in it. Man, and like the side here is like, what's that say? Roger in the Womb. So weird. So at the time, I don't know, I guess this was like risque or like on the edge at 1979 when like, this was not anything. The fonts, it's just so original. I feel like with fantasy and science fiction, originality is like really important to people who draw or write fantasy and science fiction, because they don't want to just like make a story that was already made. You know, they want to make up their own story. And it's like, if someone's inspired to tell a fantasy and science fiction story, whether it's in the form of a comic book, a drawing, a painting, or like in the form of a novel or something like that, it's because they have something to say that like they want to say, and they want it to be sci-fi and they want it to be like fantasy and stuff like that. This is cool. Spaceships. a dude with like 3 guns on his like jacket. Let me see what else is in here. There's like a little nudity in here, but not really that much. I think at the time they weren't really doing nudity, and they started like in the 80s really doing a lot of, you know, explicit, more like explicit adult content. This is like, okay, I'll show you. There's a couple of cool pictures with this. This is just like robots talking to each other, but this next one is cool. I'll show you what that is. It's like this, see that? Okay, the whole page, and there's like a girl robot with like wires and stuff coming out of her hair and things like that. That's really cool. And here's one called Last Day by Mac Manic. Isn't that weird? Like, look at these monsters. Or these creatures or whatever they are, right? Isn't that something? And like, the character is like weird. This little dude here, that's a weird dude. And this is called Night Angels, the next one. That's actually pretty cool. It's nicely drawn. And again, original, very, very original art. It's not a copy of anything. It's like really something that this person really drew it, and they drew it, you know, themselves, and like, they didn't try to copy other people. Maybe they were inspired, you know, by other people, but they weren't copying anybody. This is kind of a weird one. People like flipping around. It's kind of weird. I don't know. I don't get that one too much. And let me see, wait, just a couple more in here. Just more of these, weird. And then there's this one here. Okay. And I like this one on, here. This is the heavy metal t-shirt on Knockout. You get this heavy metal t-shirt. It was $6 and 60 cents was the 60 cents was the shipping and handling, and they would ship it to you for $6. I guess it come in red and white and black and silver. And you would get a heavy metal t-shirt. I don't know anyone else that has I have one, but I don't have this one. I've got like further on, but not this one. So yeah, and that's the back page. So yeah. All right, let me know what you guys thought in the comments, and you know, like and subscribe to my channel if you like this kind of content, and share with your friends if they like this kind of content. And I've got other videos, so check out some of my other videos. There's heavy metal and all kinds of other stuff, fantasy and stuff like that, sci-fi and stuff like that. So I will see you guys in the video. Take care. Have a great day.